Good day. We have some deeply troubling news coming out of Oyo State that has shaken the entire region and raised serious questions about security along our borders. Governor Makinde has confirmed that 5 forest guards were brutally killed in what he described as a cross-border operation carried out by bandits in an Oyo community. This incident has sent shockwaves through the state, but there is something even more unsettling about this attack that involves a name that has become synonymous with terror in northern Nigeria. The attack happened in Oke-Ogun area of Oyo State, specifically targeting forest guards who were on duty protecting natural resources and wildlife. According to reports from the governor's office, these bandits crossed over from neighboring states to carry out this heinous act. What makes this situation particularly alarming is the organized nature of the attack and the questions about whether this represents an expansion of bandit networks that have terrorized the Northwest for years. Security sources have begun investigating whether there are connections to this attack and the notorious bandit leader Bello Turji, who has become one of the most feared criminals operating in Zamfara, Sokoto, and surrounding states. Turji has built a reputation as a ruthless commander responsible for countless kidnappings, killings, and attacks on security forces. His network is believed to be extensive, with cells operating across multiple states, and intelligence reports suggest that these bandit groups share resources, intelligence, and tactics across regions. The question analysts are asking is whether what happened in Oyo represents a geographical expansion of these Northwest bandit networks, or whether local criminal groups are adopting the same sophisticated methods pioneered by commanders like Turji. The fact that this was described as a cross-border operation mirrors exactly the operational style that Turji and other major bandit leaders have perfected. They strike fast, hit their targets hard, and then disappear across state lines where pursuit becomes complicated by jurisdictional issues. What makes Turji particularly dangerous is his ability to organize and coordinate complex operations. He has demonstrated tactical sophistication that goes beyond typical criminal activity, showing knowledge of how to exploit security gaps and evade capture. If his methods or elements of his network have begun influencing operations as far south as Oyo State, then Nigeria is facing a security crisis of unprecedented proportions. The 5 forest guards who lost their lives were reportedly ambushed while on patrol, outnumbered and outgunned by heavily armed attackers who clearly had intelligence about their movements. This level of planning bears the hallmarks of organized bandit operations seen in Turji-controlled territories. Governor Makinde has vowed that those responsible will be brought to justice and has directed security agencies to intensify efforts in tracking down these criminals. But the investigation must now focus on whether there are direct or indirect links to established bandit networks. Are we dealing with copycats who have studied the success of Northwest bandits, or are we looking at actual coordination between criminal groups across vast distances? These questions are critical because the answers will determine what kind of security response is needed. If you are finding this analysis valuable and want to stay informed about these critical developments, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. It really helps us continue bringing you coverage of issues that matter to every Nigerian. Bello Turji has become more than just a bandit leader. He has become a symbol of the Nigerian state's struggle to control its territory and protect its citizens. Despite numerous military operations and airstrikes, Turji has continued to operate with relative impunity. His survival has emboldened other criminal elements across the country who see that it is possible to challenge the Nigerian state. If criminals in Oyo State are looking at what Turji has accomplished and thinking they can replicate that success in the southwest, then we are witnessing the spread of a security crisis that started in one region and is now affecting the entire nation. Local communities in the Oke-Ogun area are living in fear following this attack. Residents have expressed concerns about their safety, wondering if this represents the beginning of sustained bandit activity in their region, the way communities in Zamfara and Sokoto have experienced for years. Farmers who depend on accessing forest areas are now afraid to go about their daily activities. This creates a ripple effect on the local economy and food security when people cannot safely access their farms. The psychological impact cannot be overstated, and people who have watched what happened in northwest Nigeria are terrified that their states might be next. The investigation into whether there are connections to Turji's network or whether his operational methods are being copied is ongoing, but what is already clear is that Nigeria faces a coordinated threat that requires a coordinated response. The days of treating banditry as isolated regional problems are over. When criminals can move freely between states and employ sophisticated tactics that challenge conventional security responses, the federal government must treat this as a national security emergency. The families of the 5 fallen forest guards deserve more than condolences. They deserve assurance that their loved ones did not die in vain and that real measures will be implemented. As investigations continue and security forces work to apprehend those responsible, Nigerians are watching closely to see if this incident will finally prompt decisive action. Whether or not Bello Turji is directly connected to what happened in Oyo State, his shadow looms large over this tragedy because he represents what happens when criminal networks are allowed to grow unchecked until they become powerful enough to challenge the state itself. This is a conversation every Nigerian needs to be having right now, because what affects one region today can easily spread to another tomorrow. The question remains whether our security agencies have the capacity and coordination to stop this spread before it becomes an even bigger national crisis.